And welcome into this. Well, I almost forgot what day of the week it was because fall camp started yesterday, Chase. I was thinking it was, I was about to say a Tuesday. It's a Thursday edition. Yesterday had me tripped up with fall camp starting. This Thursday edition, but day 2 of fall camp edition. There we go. Now we got it. Of the Miller's Edge. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are staying pretty cool. It's a little warm outside, but hey, man, great day to, I don't know, just be alive, man. Always good to, to be able to wake up and praise God for another day. All right. That being said, let me tell you about our friends real quick about our at the Good Feet store. Try before you buy, nothing to lose. Make sure you check out those art supports that they've got that are there to eliminate and alleviate all types of pain, whether it's foot pain, knee pain, back pain, you name it. You got to check them out. I promise these things are game changers. And they will help you guys with all that pain, right? I mean, quad tendonitis, lower back tight, right? I know you guys know what I'm talking about. It's not just me. Everybody's probably dealing with a lot of this pain, right? Especially if you're on your feet a lot. You got to check them out, man. Let them take great care of you like they take great care of me. It's simple as putting them in your shoes and you just get to work, get to the gym, whatever you're doing, man. You just do your normal thing, but you've got these arch supports in your shoes that will definitely help eliminate and alleviate that pain. So make sure you check them out. Where can you find them? Here in Tuscaloosa, in Midtown Village, right there off of McFarland Boulevard. You can't miss it, the Good Feet store. And a matter of fact, I was talking with our friends over at the Good Feet store, and we got some fun stuff planned. And I don't want to tease too much, but just know, for our listeners here on the Miller's Edge, we're going to probably partner with them in terms of giving you guys a little bit of a chance to win a prize. I'll just say that. So make sure you guys are listening to the show, staying up to date with that, because we got some stuff in the works for you guys, our listeners, and I'm really excited about it, and I'll give you more details once all that stuff gets finalized. But make sure you guys at least go check out the Good Feet store. Show them some love, man. Huge part of our show, and they've been with us since really the beginning, man. So big shout out to the Good Feet store. Goodfeet.com. You can go to the website. Find out more information, read up on it, schedule an appointment, find the nearest location you get. And that is a Good Feet store right there on the YouTube stream. You can see it. Improving the quality of people's lives 2 feet at a time. Well, day 2 officially in the books. Practice number 2 has been wrapped up. Another just helmets practice and spider pads. I'm sure you guys heard Coach Debor mention that yesterday in his press conference. We might go back and finish the last few minutes of it. We had to cut it short, so maybe we'll do that. But real quick, just a quick little learning, I guess, piece right here. Spider pads, if you guys are wondering what that means, it has nothing to do with spiders. No, it's just literally instead of shoulder pads, spider pads are like a very thin Chase, I'm trying to think of the material, man. Like I don't even know what material would be, but they're, and shoulder pads are like almost like hard plastic. Like they have the padding underneath the hard plastic, right? The outer shell. Spider pads don't have that hard outer shell. It's basically like just taking like the skeleton, like the soft padding from the pads, and that's all it is. So when he says spider pads, that's what they're wearing. So if you're wondering, like when we're watching these highlight videos, you're seeing what they're wearing. It kind of looks like they're wearing pads, but at the same time, it looks a little bit different. Those are what we call spider pads, and it's just kind of like a soft protection. It's definitely not full pads, so you're not expected to get too physical. But they do allow you to be a little bit more physical than you would maybe with just t-shirts. I mean, granted, you could you do the same thing, like the rules are the same as if you had a t-shirt on versus spider pads. But at least like when you are in that kind of physical, at least for the guys up front, I would say it probably matters more. When you're punching each other in the chest and stuff like that, you at least have a little bit of cushion versus none at all. So that's what spider pads are. Just a quick little learning lesson there. Speaking of Coach Debor, I went back up there. I had a two-a-days yesterday, Chase. I went up to practice early in the day, watched practice before I came on the show yesterday. Then I went back up there, and I was like, because I wanted to get a workout in. And I was like, why not? I might as well go work out in the weight room up there. I haven't been up there in a minute. So I went up there, and it was a little bit later, probably around 8 something, I believe, because the guys were finishing up, and I think they were, just wrapping up meetings. And anyway, as I was walking through, I ran into Justin Jefferson. I talked to him for a second. Then I just heard somebody behind me was like, "What are you doing back up here?" Like laughing. It was Coach Debor, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm getting my workout in now, man." Earlier, I was, not I guess as a media guy, but you know what I mean. Like I was watching practice. Now I'm back up here on my time, right? Give me a good lift in, man. I didn't get my workout in earlier in the day, so I went back up there, and sure enough, man, Chase, when I tell you this guy is just so like, it never fails to amaze me just how humble he is. Like, I mean, he just casually starts giving me a tour of the updates that they're doing in that area, like right outside the locker room. It's a really nice stuff, man. And they're like subtle changes, but they're big by, I guess, they're like subtle changes, but they make a big difference. I guess that's the best way to put it, right? For example, and I don't want to spoil too much. I don't know if it's like surprises or anything. I don't think it is. I think they're just kind of refreshing some of the stuff in that area, but just kind of like some updated, like the years that we've won national championships, like going all the way back, but like some nice kind of modern, sleek designs. Looks really good. They've added some new, like the testimonials. I'm saying this stuff as if you guys know what I'm talking about. More than likely, you've never seen this stuff because it's literally like right next to the locker room. Unless you've been on a tour. If you've been fortunate to have a tour, you might have seen it. But anyway, there's like testimonials in there, and I'll take some pictures at some time. At least like the older stuff for now until they unveil all the new stuff. But they have like a picture of like former players, and then there's a testimonial. So like you've got guys like who was already on there. I think like Derrick Henry, right? Jonathan Allen, like prominent players that played here. Pretty, I think mostly guys under Coach Saban, but then they'll have like a little testimonial of like why they came here, or what Alabama did for them. Anyway, cool stuff. But they've added more of that stuff and just kind of updated some of the graphics around the building. So anyway, he starts giving me a tour of that stuff, and it was really nice, man. Really, really good stuff. But anyway, he had to run up to meetings, and I went to the gym. But that was my 2 days yesterday. So I got me a good lift in the weight room, man. Always nice to be back in there. I mean, it's very nostalgic. I mean, I spent a lot of time in that weight room when I was here and even after, right, training and all that stuff, but just really enjoy that. But anyway, in terms of today, right, you got day 2 recap. We'll talk about practice number 2. Again, another spider pads and helmets type day, but a lot of good work being done out there. I see you guys already talking in the chat about it. We will dive into this, or at least cover it. Tank Jones, a lot of people, a lot of Alabama fans, I should say, really interested in seeing where he ends up going or choosing which school he chooses. A lot of people were feeling strong about Alabama, but I believe just recently there's been some crystal balls or whatever they're called, like predictions going towards Oregon's direction. So I believe he will be committing while we're doing the show. I think it's like around 12:20, Chase said. And he's doing it on the Pat McAfee show. So I guess we'll just pull up the Pat McAfee show around that time, and we'll of course, the thing I used to joke about, I guess we'll just have a little small little watch party, if you guys want to call it that, and see where Tank ends up. I don't have any insight for you guys, just so you guys know. I have no idea. I mean, I know obviously with him being a Mobile guy, he's definitely, I know this. I mean, it's hard for guys like that to leave the state, but with everything going on with NIL and all the other stuff, man, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I mean, there's a good chance they get swayed and go somewhere else. And we'll talk about that. Speaking of NIL, there's definitely some new updates with that whole deal, and it's kind of a circus right now. So we got to cover that. That's another thing we got to get to. But first and foremost, we'll go over a little bit of a recap for day 2. We got some practice highlights we'll put on the screen. We'll talk about it. We'll discuss it. Plus, always urge you guys to jump on those phone lines, drop your messages here on the YouTube stream. If you're not listening via YouTube, you're on the radio, awesome. But if you guys want to watch the show and join the stream at the Miller's Edge on YouTube, you can come hang out with us and everybody in here. Also on Facebook, Tide 100.9, we do stream on the Facebook page as well for our Facebook crowd. And yeah, you guys know the drill. But 205-342-9904 is the phone number. Drop those questions. Hop on the phone lines. We got practice number 2 to talk about after this quick timeout right here on the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Art Sport Experts. Quick timeout. We'll be right back.
The Tide 100.9
Let's see what we got here. A couple of y'all were asking about Beeman yesterday. There he is, 92, man. I always joke about it, but I mean, you talk about a base, man. That dude, he got a base on him, boy. Me and Jamie, Coach Mosey right here, we spent a lot of time on these damn drills, man. Especially when we were our little light 205-pound selves. They used to make us do these over and over and over, work on really getting that knockback. Hey, but it paid off, though. I'm telling you, by my 3rd, 4th year, I was jacking folks up, man. I used to love this drill. By like 3, 4 years in, I loved it. At first, I couldn't stand it because I kept making, do it again. You got Renaud right there in 11. He changed his number. I'm still getting used to some of these new numbers. I'm telling you, number one, Great rep right here. You see that extension right there? So he's tucking his hips in like that. That's where your power comes from. Good eye leverage. Just good. Good rep, man. I think he's going to be really I think he's going to have a good role this year. Yeah, you see Jamie's already getting on him. I ain't even had to say nothing. Jamie's getting on him. Number one is base, man. Keon, you got to clean up that base. You heard him? What he say? His base. I told you. Yeah, I mean, you have no power. It's just funny. I mean, I literally was just about to say something. I just heard. I seen Jamie walking right to him. Oh, that's funny. Carson, what did you just say? What did he say? Beam is dragging the wagon. Pause. Oh man, we're getting a little out of control in this show, man. Delete that, bro. I mean, dude, he got a base on him now. He might get it from his auntie. I don't know. Boys look hot. Y'all see what I'm saying about Renard, though, man? I'm telling you, like, I mean, he's one of those guys. He came in lighter, but filled out. But he filled out nice, man. I'm expecting big things from him. Car, see a trip, bro.
Dancing Rabbit will quickly become your home away from home. Only at Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, a Pearl River resort destination, Choctaw, Mississippi. Visit DancingRabbitGolf.com to book your tee time.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Support Experts. We're over here hanging out on the stream, on YouTube, on the Facebook page of Tide 100.9, watching some of these highlights. Obviously, I'm going to, describe everything for you radio listeners, right? Again, I get it. We are a radio show. But if you guys want to see the highlights or kind of hang out with us, man, at the Miller's Edge on YouTube, always welcome to do that. Again, day 2 in the books, another helmets practice, but a lot of good work being done out there on the field. Right now, we're watching some clips here. You can see the quarterbacks going through drills, hitting the running backs out of the backfield, kind of like swing route, flare route, almost like a wheel route. Excuse me. That's really what that's simulating. Again, same old thing though, guys. I mean, you're not going to be able to tell too much from this stuff. Just kind of to see how guys move, right? A little touch on their throws, but again, their throws against air. So I always urge people before we start saying, see one throw like somebody makes on air and everybody's like freaking out. Like, there's only so much we can tell, right? You just got to let the process play out. Scotty, pick your feet up, man. Almost tripped on that sled right there. That being said, D-line always, I feel like everybody always gravitates toward the D-line. I don't know if it's just because the D-line indie drills are just a lot more fun and entertaining to watch. Obviously, they're a little bit more up-tempo, bag work. You see right here, Jamie's putting them through a pass rush drill. They've got the staggered bags, and they're working a move. Jamie's shooting I forgot what you call it, but it's like an arm pad that you put on. He's shooting it at them. They got to make a move on it. Always want violent hands, flip your hips, stuff like that. But the good thing about this drill is you got to get your feet up. You got to work on the line while also, getting ready to take on that punch that Jamie's going to throw at, or Coach Mosley, I should say. I'm so used to calling, he's my best friend, so I just call him Jamie, but Coach Mosley, I should say, putting them through a nice pass rush drill right there. Here it looks like you got, I want to say tight ends on one side. Yep, kind of way out. We'll skip ahead right here. I was watching the outside linebackers again today, and of course, Scotty keeps making appearances in the cat. I think Scotty wants to be on camera. If you guys don't know who Scotty is, man, one of the one of the best dudes you can meet, man. He serves as a chaplain for the team, and I mean, he is instrumental in terms of just being a resource for guys and just, I mean, pouring into guys. Really, really good stuff. So if you guys wonder some of the people behind the scenes who don't necessarily get a lot of recognition but have been integral pieces to this, Scotty Hollins, man, right here, who I'm circling on the screen. Best in the business. I got to give a shout out to Scotty, man. This dude is phenomenal. Really, really awesome guy. Great role model and great resource to have around the program. He's been here for a long time. He works alongside Mr. Castile, who, speaking of Mr. Castile, I know I'm jumping all around, but bear with me, guys. Chase, the new movie is premiering today. Golly, let me pull it up real quick because I don't want to get it wrong. I gotta show love to all my teammates because again, they were featured in this film. It was it's called Nothing But a Winner. I forgot to mention that earlier, guys. It is officially in theaters today. Nothing But a Winner. I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a little bit, but it goes back talking about Bear Bryant, Coach Saban, and they interview a bunch of players from both eras, and it looks to be really good. I haven't seen it just yet, but I definitely plan on watching. So make sure you guys check that out if you got some time. But again, Nothing But a Winner, man. If you love Bama and want to, find something to watch, man, great content there. Anyways, back with the practice recap, man. Who we got here? Linebackers. Oh yeah. There's Deontay Lawson. To me, Deontay looks good, man. I know he's still working through his stuff, but he's moving around well. I think it's really just a matter of just, building that confidence up, right? I mean, when you suffer an injury like that, I mean, knock on wood, I've never suffered a knee injury, but I just know going back to when I had my biceps tear, man, and I'm not gonna lie, when I say I rushed back, I mean, granted, I was cleared to be out there, but in reality, probably was going to take, a little bit more time to really feel 100%. And I just know from that experience, from any other experience, even my hamstring, right? When I tore my hamstring after the Oklahoma game, it takes some time for not only for your body to get back, but even just mentally being able to trust that you can make those same movements and effectively do it, number one, but also do it without. It's almost like sometimes your brain is still kind of protecting itself, when you're trying to go through those movements. So sometimes, you might misstep here or there. You might just do things a little bit different out of protection, but or self-preservation, whatever the term may be. But to me, I thought he's been looking good moving around, and I think he's actually on pace to, probably be, back and really good. I know he said he's going to be back, but you know what I mean, but really be back earlier than some may have expected. There's a difference between being cleared and really being able to play at your highest level. But here we move on to these outside linebacker drills. What they're working right here is it's called basically, so they're simulating running a game, right? And so this would be like a jam. So when I say a jam, sorry, let me backtrack. So a jam, some people also call like an ET game. You might have heard of a TE. So that's end tackle game, tackle end. So basically what a jam / ET would be is when the defensive end, he's going to sell up field, and he's going to shoot inside and pick the hip of the guard, then redirect vertical. Then you have the tackle, who initially he has to sell on that guard, right? He has to shoot up field, get that guard's attention so he doesn't just turn the ear hole the end. Then he wraps for contain. It looks like they're working some form of that drill, and that's why you see them kind of working. They work that pick move, and I think there's a better video of this, but to me, it looks kind of like that's what they're working here. He's kind of selling right there, or could be another form of a game. But I do know I saw another angle that somebody posted. I'll pull that up, and that other angle, man, you just see again, I keep going back to this. I talked about it at length yesterday, but Quay Russaw, man, there's just it's almost like he's got a second gear to him now. And you already knew the athlete that he was. I mean, watching him come out of high school, right? I mean, even just seeing him the last couple of years. I mean, that he's got a lot of potential. And I don't know if it's so much to do with, it's probably a combination. I mean, I think he shed maybe like 10 pounds or so. Obviously, he's been in the weight room. Obviously, he's a year older. He's more mature, right? I mean, guys still are developing, believe it or not, while you're in college, right? You're still developing physically. There's just something about him right now that, like, all his movements, man, it's so explosive. I'm not going to lie to you. And it's almost starting to remind me of a guy I played with. Now, I mean, a little bit different because I'm not going to lie. This guy, I mean, from the jump, I mean, was probably one of the most explosive people I've been around. But like Rashaan Evans, if you go back and watch, man, all his movements, the way he snapped off the football, is just so quick and explosive. Now, they got different body types. Height-wise, they're probably in a similar range, but Rashaan was a little bit more on the slender side. So you would expect Rashaan to be a little bit quicker. But I think now that Quay has lost some of that weight, you really are starting to see, because he already was explosive, but I think now, I mean, it really just stands out to me. And every time I see him working through these drills, granted, it's only been 2 days, it's really impressive. And I think he's posed for a really big year. And he just, like, again, I told you guys, during this period when you only got helmets, and so there's only so much you can really go off of, right? You don't have pads on. But there are guys that just flash by the way they're moving, but the things they're doing in these drills. Quay Russaw is like one of those guys. He just keeps flashing by everything he's doing. And you can only expect that he's going to have a huge jump this year. Because, I mean, he was on pace. I mean, let's face it. He was on pace to have a really solid year last year. But he got hit with the injury bug. And the second half of the year just wasn't the same. I mean, he obviously was dealing with the nagging injury. I fully expect him to make a huge leap going into this upcoming season. Right here, you see Freddie Roach working with James Smith. Really good rep. Much better the first time. He drove too low. These reps are so tough. This drill is tough on these types of sleds, man, because you have to hit it at the right angle. Kane Womack messed around with him, giving him a shoulder. Of course, man, there's Scotty, man. Hype man Scotty. Got to love it, man. And Kane Womack hyping him up too. But that drill is so tough because you got to hit at the right angle. If you hit, you see how low it is, it really emphasizes, your leverage here. Because if you don't go low to high, you're going too much, flat or almost down, you're not going to move it, man. And you got to hit it right. But that other drill is great. And really, I love how he finished, man. Violent finish. Always want to overemphasize the finishes, especially in these drills, because this is what carries over, right? Obviously, the initial part is working about coming out your hips, driving through contact, driving that offensive lineman. But the way he physically throws that sled, man, that's working on the violent shed. You got to do that because it's different pieces to it. It's one thing you go jack a guy up, but then what's the last part, Chase? You got to shed it. You got to violently shed. You got to get off the block. Go find the football, man. Great rep by James Smith right there, who I definitely expect the other Carver product to have a big impact as well. Quarterbacks did look good. Just going back real quick while I got on my mind. Slinging it around today, per usual. I know I mentioned this yesterday, but again, Keelan Russell, man, I think Kalen Debor even mentioned it in his press conference. He looks like he's taking that next step. And you guys heard me mention it on the show earlier in the show, and I gave my breakdown. And then, you hear Kalen Debor mention the press conference. It was very evident that, whether it was all those 7-on-7 reps he got this summer, just, they look to be paying off because he's shown up to this training camp. Just he doesn't look like that freshman that just got here anymore. He's processing things quicker. He's making those throws. I mean, he's really impressive. And I'll just say this again, still stand by. I mean, I believe it's Ty's job to lose. But when you have a guy like that that's just so talented, man, I mean, number one, it makes you feel good for security purposes. But two, it makes you wonder, like, if he does, for whatever reason, get that opportunity, man. I mean, it's like, man, might be kind of hard to take him back out of there if he does find his way out there just because he's got so much potential. But again, all those guys are battling out, and they all look solid. Even Austin Mack, man, looks good. But I think that quarterback room is really sound. That being said, we do need to hit a quick timeout. We come back, we'll keep talking a little bit about practice number 2. Again, recapping what has gone on today. We got some more little clips that we'll probably pull up. That way we can specifically look at a couple of things, maybe a little bit more focus on the DBs, maybe the linebackers. We didn't really get too many good clips on that just yet. Plus, we want to talk with you guys. If you guys got any questions, anything you want to talk about, 205-342-9904 is the number. Plus, you can always drop it here in the chat, and we'll discuss it right here on the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Quick timeout. We'll be right back. You're looking at some videos of Florida State yesterday. They got some dudes. Hell yeah. I mean, bro, that's why I was saying, who were we talking to yesterday? Was it Bryce? And he was like, I just expect us to go, blow him out or something. I'm like, I mean, that would be great. I'm not saying it can't happen, but you got to at least respect those guys. Don't go off that record. I mean, they got players now. I mean, don't get it twisted. They got some good players. And I didn't realize their D-line coach, man, he was my coach with the Panthers. T-Knight. He played in the league. I think he played with Washington. But he was on one of those videos cussing them out, saying like it's going to be this hot when we played week 1. So that he's already getting the boys in the right mindset. We need more lunch, Lady Bills and live. They call that an apple bill. Oh no, a pear. They call Coach TJ used to call it a pear. He said the guys that are built like pears can move a lot better than the guys built like apples, like the big top heavy guys. Or wait, was it vice versa? No, I think he always said that he preferred the pears. I think he said he preferred the pears over the apples, if I'm not mistaken, man. Oh, y'all are funny, man. Christian, thanks for the info. Spent a lot of money. It was closed, so I went to Bama. Oh, the soup store info. Spent a lot of money. It was closed, so I went to Bama stuff. Oh, nice. Good for you. Well, hopefully you found what you're looking for. Yeah, I'm sure, man. That stuff is not cheap. That stuff is definitely not cheap. Let's see. I need to pay more attention to the O-line a little bit. I think they shuffled up a little bit, just some stuff they're going through drills, but nothing crazy. But I'll be honest, man, I never it's not never. I hadn't really locked in too much on that. Yeah, let me run this back while we're on this break. And welcome back into the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230. WTBC presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Support Experts. We're recapping day number 2 again. Just a helmets practice, very similar to yesterday, but a lot of good work nonetheless, guys getting after it. And matter of fact, when I went up there to get a lift in yesterday, I think like the offensive group was doing their lift or finishing their lift. So their schedule for camp is a little bit interesting, because I know with us, we would do all that physical activity in the morning. Like we would lift, like one group would have to lift after we practiced, and maybe they weren't. I mean, I'm assuming that's what they're doing. They all came from, or maybe they weren't. Maybe they're doing something else. I don't know. But anyway, they had a long day though. I mean, them dudes, which that's camp for you guys. I mean, they were probably leaving the building around 9, some change, something like that. I mean, and I'd imagine with morning practices that start at 9, I mean, you got quick meetings before that. Plus, you got to get taped. You got to get all that stuff. Their day is probably waking up at like eat breakfast. I mean, they're probably going like 6 to 9 right now. Which, boy, I do not miss that. You know, there's times you miss getting out to the quarterback. There's times you miss running out that tunnel. But there's a lot of times there's probably never any times that I'm necessarily going to miss being a 6 to 9 type deal. But I will say this though. There's just something about camp, man, like through all that grind, through all that struggle, man, it like you do actually look back and kind of miss it. Like in the moment it sucks. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like it's not fun waking up at 6 and just going and going and going, not just physically. I don't think people understand the mental capacity, the mental toll that it takes. Like, guys, you got to push yourself physically through this stuff, which also is, you know, taking a toll mentally. But then you're talking about meetings after meetings, watching tape. I mean, you're watching tape before practice, and you go back and break down the after practice tape. You literally go watch literally what you just did for several hours. Then you got to go back and normally have like walkthroughs, and you have stuff where you watch more tape and do install at least for what you're going to do tomorrow morning. Because think about that, with them practice in the morning, they got to do a lot of their install the night before, right? Or at least in the late afternoon. So, and I even get into the extra meetings like where they have guest speakers. So, oh man, training camp, man, you gotta love it, man. You gotta learn to love it, Chase. If not, it's gonna eat you up. Mike asked about that transfer running back. Mike, I'm not gonna lie to you, brother. I did not get around to really do it. I promise I will make sure I will mark that down. I don't have a pen in front of me, but I promise I will look out for the transfer running back as soon next time, which tomorrow, whatever, next time I'm up there, man. I promise I got you. Let's see. Is there anything else we had in here before we do this? Let's do this. Let's go to the phone lines. I know we got Robbie already on there, so we'll go ahead and see what Robbie Glenn has to say. Robbie, welcome in.
Hey, Christian, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, Robbie?
I was listening yesterday. Y'all were talking about Ryan Williams, and I don't think it had anything to do with Jalen Milroe when he said that. Personally, I don't know for sure, but I'm thinking a 17-year-old kid away from home for the first time, going to a big university, and there's no downtime for him being a superstar everywhere he went, going to get something to eat at a red light. People are coming up trying to get autographs. I think there's a lot of pressure on him, and the only place he really felt safe was being back at Mount Moore facility. I'd heard he gets, even when he's walking to class, people just running up to him just to get a picture. And, I'm not 100% sure that's all it, but I think there was a lot of that just stressed him out a little bit. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I think, yeah, no, I mean, look, I agree with you. I really don't think it was directed towards anybody in specific. I know immediately people jump at that just because that's what they do. That's the narrative that everybody is really painted. But I'll be honest with you. I'm with you on that. I think it was a combination of things. Look, I do know your first year playing SEC football compared to high school. I mean, I don't care who it is. I mean, it's not easy by any means, let alone being 17 and having all that pressure on you. And I also know what comes with, a long season is a lot of, even when I say injuries, even though they might not show up, right, that people are really aware of, guys are beat up and they're banged up, right? There's going to be things that are a hammy that you guys might not hear about, or even me battling. It's frustrating. I know that was the case for me a lot. I mean, there would be times I wouldn't be on an injury report, but I mean, I would just have you, and you know this. I mean, you played a college sport. I mean, something your shoulder it's bothering you. You got, whether you're dealing with some type of, it could be tendonitis, it could just be a strain. You're never going to really be 100%. So I definitely agree with you. I think it was probably just a lot of other factors. Could it have been? Listen, I will say this: could he have had some frustrations at times when things weren't going perfect? Sure, but I don't think he ever once felt like, "Hey, man, it's all this dude. It's all on this guy." I can't. No, I don't think it was that. Because I mean, you go back and listen to him talk about that play with against Georgia when he said him and Jay Milroe had improvised that play. To me, that sounds like you got a relationship between those guys. They have a solid connection where if they can go and improvise stuff like that, I don't see why he would just turn on a guy, especially publicly on his stream like that. I don't think that was the case.
I don't think so either. And I have one question about film study, since I know you've done it with the best of them and you've been in there. Y'all study a lot of film, and I know you do it as a defense, as a team, but then y'all break down in linebackers and defensive backs, right? Y'all all, like, if a linebacker is calling the plays, I know the defensive coordinator calls the coverage, and then it's up to that guy calling it on the field. Does he study with other guys, like free safety and stuff, so they're all on the same page, or is they all dependent on that guy making the right call, and then when he makes it, they're going to do their job because they know what coverage? Or do they all get together and study together, too, to see if they're on the same page?
Man, that's a really, really good question. I know, like, Ricky, is asking something about, like, the communication, that goes on within a play, and then you just expanded on that. Really good question, Robbie. So we all, we meet as a defense to just go over, defensive install, like, as a group, right? And then we'll break to go into individual, and then we'll break down specifically, what we need to do, like our jobs. To answer your question in regards to the communication, each group respectively is going to have their own specific, I guess, like, obviously, like install for their responsibilities, right? So I'll give you an example. So like you just mentioned, like the coverage in a call, I always use this, but it's the go-to base call. It's as simple as it gets, right? Base strong 3 auto. That was one of our calls. If you guys could guessed it, right? We're playing cover 3, base strong 3. Strong means we're bringing it from the strong side. And then auto is a check. So that means if they're in dot formation, which means if they have 2 tight ends on the football, we go check auto. So that play itself says a number of different things, right? Base means is the defense or base defense. So that different things can have, or there's different parts of the call that can have different meanings for each group of guys. Does that make sense? So the linebacker will call out. He'll relay that call. Base strong 3 auto. Me as an upfront guy or outside linebacker, I had to know a number of things. I had to know, okay, strong, because that says either I'm rushing the passer or the jack is rushing the passer, whoever's to the strong side. If I'm on the right side and the strength is right, and they say Ralph, as soon as I hear Ralph, Robbie, that means I'm rushing. So if I wanted to be in depth, if I wanted to say, okay, if I'm to the strength, I'm rushing, that's like an A+. But for younger guys who are trying to just figure it all out, sometimes we just teach them, hey, if you're to the right side and you hear Ralph, go rush the quarterback. If you're away, you drop. And then the next stage is like, all right, okay, I'm dropping. What's the coverage? Oh, it's base strong 3 auto. That means I'm playing cover 3. What are my rules in cover 3? I've got ripple is match. So what do I do in ripple is match? Well, I got to carry the tight end if he goes vertical, but unless I have 3 to the flat, which would be the running back, or it could be somebody coming across. And then I got to come off and play the flat. So does that make sense? So basically, like the linebackers relaying the call, but we all know kind of our role within that call, if that makes sense. So I guess let me go back. You asked do we meet with some of those other guys. We don't necessarily like say, okay, we need to go meet with this. Like, let me say this, like, we don't necessarily go, okay, I need to go as an outside linebacker. I have to drop at times. So let me go specifically meet with the DBs to make sure that we're good. No, we don't do that, but we do have opportunities where we meet as a whole, or we might break off, or like say like on a Friday, if we're in the hotel, if we got some extra time, we might just go say, all right, let's go chop it up with the DBs and make sure we're on the same page. If we got to walk out and go play coverage on somebody, that way we're all communicating together. Does that make sense? But we don't necessarily go meet with individual groups in that regard.
I got it. So who studies film more, quarterback or the linebackers?
Oh, man. Oof. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, look, I if I'm being completely honest, I would probably say a quarterback. Look, it really is probably close, but a quarterback, when you talk about everything that they have to know in terms of reading defenses and disguises and really going through stuff, I mean, everybody should be watching film about equally, but when you talk about a quarterback, I just feel like there's so many things that they really have to rehearse mentally. I mean, no different than, a linebacker, you got to do the same, but I'd argue you can probably get away with watching a little bit less film as a linebacker if you just start learning tendencies and stuff, because you're reacting, right? But right. Yeah, that's a hell of a question, man. I mean, I would look. I got to pay my respects. Those guys, quarterbacks, are smart. Hence why all of them end up doing media and doing all these breakdowns, because they know the game so well. So I'll give them the nod on that one. I'll be nice. I'll give the offense a little bit of love.
I got you. That's a lot of pressure on those guys for sure. Just not only having to make the plays, but making the right calls and lining people up. So
100%. No one checked.
And then play fast.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think that's what I mean. If you think about it, man, as a quarterback, man, you're responsible for all your guys. Then you have to, there's so many different, facets, right? You got to worry about the protection up front, right? I mean, I know the center in some cases handles that, but others, the quarterback is responsible. Identifying the mic, getting the protection, the right, to the right side or handled correctly. You got to worry about getting, checks and stuff to your receivers. And all the stuff pre-snap, getting guys lined up, then post-snap comes. And if it's a pass play, I mean, you're immediately going through reads, and defenses, they don't make it easy. I mean, I'm sure you've heard the comments about Auburn, right? They're trying to make it easy on, their new quarterback, Jackson Arnold, to build his confidence. Because why? I mean, when defenses, if you got a defense that's, is disguising and throwing different looks at you, they're bringing people and pressure from all different places. Oh, man, it flusters quarterbacks, man. I mean, that's why guys start seeing ghosts. And, yeah, man, that's a hard position to play. I mean, I've never played it for a team, but my brother played some quarterback, and obviously I've been around them enough to know they do not have an easy job.
No, they don't. So, well, thank you. I was just curious how much. I mean, I know you all study a lot of film, but I just didn't know how y'all broke it down.
Yeah, no, great question.
People just think,
go ahead.
Yeah, people just think y'all work out and go hit on the field and study up, but man, y'all do a lot of film study. I know when I was there, they did.
Oh,
they were always in there.
Yeah, that's an understatement. No, I mean, like I said, I mean, as a defensive unit, you watch it with everybody, just kind of going over like main install. Kirby, Pruitt, whatever, they would break down key points for everybody. D-line, this is the game we got up front, right? Or this is linebackers, you got to do this. Secondary, we're playing this coverage, right? He'd go over it's like a summary. But then when you break to individual drills, we lock in specifically on our alignment, our assignment, our adjustments. That way we're locked in. And then in terms of going out there and repping it, we can always communicate then. But yeah, we don't, it's not like we have to again, I will say this. Let me add this last point real quick and I'll let you go. We did used to sometimes go merge with the D-line group as an outside linebacker group, once a week, to work on our pass rush game. Because why? Because we literally work together. We basically are integrated at that point. So we would, as an outside linebacker group, go sit in the D-line room for 15, 20 minutes and go over the games that we want to run, how we're going to run them and stuff like that. But we never went and sat with the DBs and really worked on coverage. It was just kind of hey, our coach was responsible for teaching us our roles and how to play each type of coverage if we were in that situation. That was about it.
That's a lot, but I'm excited. I can't wait to get this going. Florida State's getting right here.
No doubt, man. It's
approaching. Here before we know it.
No doubt. Looking forward to it. Robbie, I appreciate you, brother.
All right, Chris.
Yes, sir, man. Take care. Good stuff, man. Always love questions like that, man. Love questions like that. Good deal. All right, we got to hit a timeout. When we come back, we keep on rolling. We got some folks with some stuff in the chat. We'll respond to that. We're open on the phone lines, I believe, 205-342-9904. Recapping day number 2 of fall camp here in Tuscaloosa. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Oh, that's a good question. Thoughts on box roll? I think it bothers some of these position coaches to have Kane Womack involved in the drill. That's a good question too. I'll say those are good. I'll save those when we come back from our break. But yeah, anybody in here, man, if you haven't already, drop a like. That always helps us out, helps the algorithm, helps share the show. And two, if you got any questions, man, drop them. Drop your questions. We'll hit those now. Let's see this other angle. All right, Kane, you better get out of the way. Well, Scotty was just a star of the show today. Tips and releases, I'm sure you guys are aware, but might as well narrate a little bit. So when we used to talk about man, we need to help Proctor out, get some chips. We were talking about just a little, even just something as small as this, man. You got a defensive end rushing upfield, throw a tight end right there, chip that outside shoulder, man. That even it just that is enough just to slow a guy down, man, and just give your tackle. Even I'm telling you, that one step, you might slow that defensive end down. It's huge for a tackle that's struggling. Again, I'm not trying to go too far in the past. They used to drive me nuts watching, them just leaving Caden Proctor on an island. I'm like, bro, you can still use a tight end in the passing game. Just have them chip and release, as you see right here. Obviously, different routes and things like that might speed up the process, or you might not necessarily be able to do that so easily. But hell, make it 6-man protection. Throw the back on that side. Do something. But I really think you'll see a lot of that this season. If you go back and watch Washington's tape, I mean, obviously we got a year of tape to watch with Coach Debor, but they utilize their tight ends a lot. And a matter of fact, they utilize this type of deal in the national championship a good bit, kind of like that delay. I forgot what the tight end's name, but the tight end for Washington, he had a number of plays, kind of, it's a delay route, kind of hangs in the core, like he's blocking, might throw a chip in there, then he has a late release, but like my dad was mentioning, man, tight ends can be huge for quarterbacks. So hopefully these guys step up. That is definitely, we always forget to mention that, but talking about question marks, tight end is definitely one of them. People can say what they want, but receivers were visibly frustrated with Milroe at times during the season. It was noticeable during the Tennessee game. Yeah, I mean, I said that in my comments, did I not? I said, I mean, yeah, there's going to be times that guys are frustrated. I mean, that's natural. That happens all the time. I mean, hell, AJ and his center almost got in a fight literally on the field, and they were beating somebody. It's football, brother. Doesn't mean you're going to go out and just throw someone on the bus like that. And welcome back into Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Support Experts. All right, we got to mention this. We got to mention this because it has come up today, and we're going to keep talking about practice number 2. But in terms of NIL, some new developments that could be pretty big. And the reason I say that is, as you guys are well aware, right? The whole deal was recently revenue sharing, right? That was passed. Teams, or I should say, athletic school, the athletic departments of universities are now allowed. I should say, are allowed. And as you can see, we finally got some clips of the offensive line working. Let me not get distracted. I'll go back to that here in a second. But anyway, up to $20.5 million to share with their student athletes across all sports, right? With that being said, the expectation was, or I guess what people were at least under the understanding was that the collectives were no longer able just to, pay guys like that. It had to be, these deals had to be, if they were over $600, it had to be cleared by this new clearinghouse, right? And you have a committee, they're overseeing stuff. You guys know that, right? But now, and this is a problem, guys, there's just no consistency with any of this stuff. In a revised memo sent Thursday, the College Sports Commission clarifies that NIL collectives can compensate athletes if transactions meet benchmarks, paving the way for collective operations to continue with limitations, as reported last week. We are going to discuss that in hour number 2 a little bit more because, again, now it's just the confusion is really at an all-time high. And one reason that is that a lot of schools, under the assumption that they were no longer really able to use the collective to help compensate their guys, was that what they ended up doing basically was they front-loaded their roster, meaning before the clock hit midnight, before the deadline, whatever it was, they went ahead and paid their student athletes the last opportunity. Shout out to our guy, Bray Hubbard, man. Looks great in those drills right there. But they front-loaded it. Now you got them saying, okay, actually you guys still can continue to do what you were doing initially. That's a problem now, because now people are probably going to be double dipping in a lot of people that front loaded. They might still say, oh, we can do this. And it just further muddies the equation. So we're going to dive into that in hour number 2 as well, plus a couple other news and notes that have come up. But first, we got to hit this top of the hour break. Dwight, as we're going to break, I'll answer your question real quick. He says, Christian, why are you not over at West Alabama with the guys coach under Cochran? I don't want to coach, brother. I would love to do some player development type stuff that didn't require me to be full time. But as a former athlete, normally there's 2 routes that, are very commonly taken. That's media and that's coaching. as much as I love to talk football, and I feel like I would probably make a pretty good football coach. I feel like I know the game well. I feel like I can influence and work with guys well. The problem is, man, the demands. You know what I mean? You take the media route. I mean, it's a lot less demanding on you in terms of time. You know, my schedule, and it allows me to do other things that I'm into. Man, I love real estate. You know, I'm getting more and more involved in real estate investing, and I don't know how much of all that I could do if I'm coaching. But if there's ever an opportunity where I can kind of do like a part-time, I don't know, like a pass rush specialist or something like that, but doesn't require me to be like full-time coaching, I would do something like that. But in terms of a full-time coach, man, and then look, shout out to West Alabama. I mean, Reggie might jump on here sometime. I don't know if he's free today or what, but he'll tell us more about what they got going on at West Alabama. I mean, that's kind of out there in the middle of nowhere, right? Or Livingston or whatever, man. You got to be commuting back. a little bit of a hassle. But anyway, shout out to those guys, though, man. We're going to be covering them this season, though. They got to show my guys some love over at West Alabama. Shout out Coach Cochran, Blake, Ronnie, OJ, Bo, Damian, and Reggie, and Fletch. I was about to forget Fletch, Thomas Fletcher. Hopefully I didn't forget one. All right, we got to hit timeout when we come back. Hour number 2 coming up right here on the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles.
Let me see if I can find a video on this this NIL thing too. Let's see. Yeah, they're working an ET drill on that thing. It's just that other bag, but then they get the way they got them doing is they got almost like they're reversing it. I'm confused. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Wait, hold on. Oh, unless they're oh, I got it now. I got it. They're working as if they're like they're working from the 3. That's why I was confused. They're working in that other drill that I mean, technically it is like an ET, but they're the 3 technique. But that would be more not that throwback. I don't think we want to watch that game. That wasn't a good game for us. I don't think we want to watch that. Let's put those highlights back on. I don't think we want to watch that game. This drill. Hold on, let me share Wyatt's thing. Whoops, I don't want to make that too full screen. This drill. Yeah, because that's why I was still confused at first. So say this is a tackle, the actual guy that's behind this bag, he would be like the guard. So they line up in a 3. Basically they're working, they're selling, and what they're going to end up doing is chopping that arm down because obviously the guard's going to go to block him. Then he's picking the tackle that way. Yeah. Yeah, you always want to sell.
Yes, Rob.
Yeah, I was about to say you gotta go back. He's gonna be solid though. I'm excited about him too. And welcome back into Miller's Edge, Todd 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. Don't forget about our friends over at R&R Cigars. Excuse me, if you guys are in the market for the best cigars that you can get your hands on, check out R&R Cigars, 2703 Gary Fitz Street here in Tuscaloosa, the big mansion. Can't beat it. Football season is quickly approaching. If you're looking for a place to go watch the games, hang out, enjoy a nice stick, over 160 bourbons, man, look no further. R&R Cigars, they've got you covered. Plus, they always are putting on, events for like the big fights, UFC, big boxing matches, stuff like that. We're the only place around town you can find it. So make sure you guys check them out. Go hang out there. Plus, hit their website up, rnrcigars.com. You can use that code Miller's Edge. Get 20% off of all your orders. That is specifically for you guys, our listeners. So make sure you guys take advantage of it. At the Miller's Edge is the code. Well, not at, excuse me, just the Miller's Edge. Miller's Edge is the code. On their website, rnrcigars.com. Make sure you guys check them out. Again, that is R&R Cigars, the official cigar provider of Alabama football since 2014. I want to do this, Chase, because we didn't get to finish part 2 of Kalen Debor's press conference. So I want to jump back to that and hear what he had to say. So I want to pick up where we left off yesterday after practice number 1, because there were a couple things that I wanted to touch on from that. So without further ado, let's jump back over to Kalen Debor yesterday, post-practice number 1, and see what he had to say for the rest of his press conference.
They wanted to do something special. We have that on that side of the ball. And there isn't someone that is so much better going both ways like that situation to where we feel the need to do that at this point.
How big of a luxury is it when you look at the quarterback competition going against the defense that's got so much experience?
Yeah, a lot of the competition right now is a lot of pressure on them. There's pressure to play in game, pressure that exists, going through the season. But really, that the pressure that they have to compete and win the spot is something that's preparing them for those times in the games. And so going against a defense like ours, and our defense does a really good job. I think they're getting better and better at disguising things. Which means you don't know where things might always come from. And then, guys just that are playmakers out there too. They can cover a lot of ground, and they're not just giving you those gimmies, those blown coverages. You're having to make plays. And so quarterbacks did a good job of, I think, taking calculated risks at the right time. They didn't put our offense in jeopardy really, throughout practice. And they're being challenged by obviously a group on the other side of the ball that we've, got a lot of confidence in right now.
Coach, speaking about competition, can you talk about the running back position and how it's looking behind Jam Miller?
Mm-hmm.
Just different body types and different backs back there. Can you talk about that?
Sure. Yeah, you got Rich and you got Rich Young, Daniel Hill coming back also. Feel like those guys are healthier than they probably ever were last season. Throughout the year, and then Dre Washington. I thought he had a really nice practice today. You can see again a new guy that's come in, and now you're seeing the install a second, third time from spring, summer to fall, and how just like we were talking about the quarterback position, how it's clicking more, and so he's got himself right in the mix there for sure. As we kind of narrow down, and there's skill sets, there's different things that each guy brings. Body types are a little bit different, but in the end, it's not like someone is so much different to where it affects who's in there. We're just teaching them all the offense, and especially when we get into the padded and the physicality and the tackling pieces, that's a big part of it, is breaking tackles and being able to get in there and protect for the quarterback and do a great job of it. So, really, they're all competing, but really that's probably where it's at with those guys, and they're all doing a good job.
So, get first team runs there today. Where do you see that kind of position?
Gino and Cam, yeah, both of them doing a great job all summer. Super competitive. Gino, in year 2 now with us, so comfortable in the offense, and Cam has just he's had a lot of urgency to really put himself physically and mentally in a spot where he's competing for that position. And, they probably do have different tools that are their strengths. I think they're both really good, well-rounded football players. but both of them can do a few things a little better than the other. So it's just a matter of the best 5 guys, and how they fit into that.
Coach, speaking from a special team standpoint, can you just talk about anybody who stepped up since you just lost a great one to James Burnham, but you just talk about the people that's still in the room, people that come behind them, what you've seen so far from spring, summer to now, and just elaborate on that.
Sure. Specialists as a whole, we had a lot of special teams guys, and I know you're not what your question is, that freshmen that played a lot of reps, on the units, and the specialists, though, all graduating on, obviously got some holes there. And I felt good about what you see with the long snapper position and the replacement there. And then, I think Talty's done a really nice job. I'm proud of him on how he's really, from last year, taken on the role and dove into it, did a nice job on kickoffs. And I think that experience and just his growth showed, again, consistency through the spring. And then, it was evident today, I thought he was solid in the different times we had him out there doing his thing. And the punter position is probably the one that is the most open, where, you got a couple guys, Alex and Blake that, both coming into the program that, Blake in particular had some reps this spring, but still, growing and getting stronger and those 2 guys competing. Alex is now physically in a better spot too. And his progress is, I guess, better than expected. From a physical standpoint, just being able to go out there and do it. And so I'm excited about the competition that those 2 will bring, because I know that the ceiling for them, they got pretty high ceilings. And so I'm expecting some big things from them.
Speaking of special teams, who are you working with for Holder?
A lot of times it's within that unit. So you're going to have your punters a lot of time. And I thought Blake did a nice job today. Anderson does a nice job too. And so a lot of times, because they're together so much, as long as they can do it, that's just that familiarity and that consistency with all the reps they take each and every day. That's the starting point for us. But, I always like to, at some point, get a quarterback involved or some skill guy, puts a little pressure on the other team when, you got that ability there too, to have a playmaker, holding the football. But, we'll see as we go through the fall. All right. Thank you, guys. Yep.
So there you go. So that was the rest of Kalen Debor's press conference from yesterday. We didn't get to finish it here on the show, so I wanted to wrap that up. That way we can get all of his thoughts. Special teams, Chase, something we hadn't really talked about a whole bunch, and I was thinking about it after there was some discussion about it yesterday. I'm like, I know, matter of fact, shout out to our listeners. I know a couple people have brought it up a few weeks ago or maybe a couple months ago, and I was like, I kind of was, I thought about it, but I kept, rolling with other stuff. But, man, replacing Burnup and, Graham Nicholson, I hate to say it, he did not really live up to expectations. I was kind of thinking about that yesterday when I was talking about this with somebody. I was joking because I don't know if you guys remember, but our listeners that were listening last year, my dad was joking around. And, this year, man, he's really coming around in terms of, his outlook on the team this year. But last year, he was one of the skeptics. Not that he didn't have faith, but it just was, all these question marks to the point where he even was questioning the kicking position after we just brought in Graham Nicholson. And I remember telling him, like, this guy, had he won the nation's top kicker award over Will Reichert, even though it was BS. Will got robbed. But I'm like, even if Will was supposed to get it, that means he would have been runner up. I'm like, we're not worried about that. We basically brought in the next best kicker outside of Will Reichert. And my dad was joking around. Well, I don't even know if he was joking, but he was saying, he's like, man, I'm not hearing all that. He's got to do it at Alabama. It's different. I'm like, hold on. I'm like, I know he came from a smaller school, but I'm like, dude, come on. A kicker is a kicker. If you can kick the football, man, you can kick the football. It shouldn't matter if you're playing for Alabama or Colorado School of the Mines, where I think that punter came from, which I've never heard of in my life. But sure enough, man, my dad might have been right, because Graham Nicholson just did not really live up to being a guy that came in being the nation's top kicker the year prior. That being said, special teams is beyond important. And when you look at the punting position as well, the punter position, like, he just was mentioning, man, it is something to pay attention to because you're talking about changing field position. I mean, it's special teams, as you guys know. I think we got used to, first it was JK. JK comes in and, he obviously had a rocket for a leg. So we, felt we had a lot of great years, punting the football. And then you can bring in Will Reichard. And for the first time in many years, we had a reliable kicker, which felt foreign for a number of years. And now it's almost, I almost think, Chase, like we forgot what it feels like to not be able to rely on the kicker. And now it's starting to creep back in, and I'm like, oh crap. Hopefully that gets figured out. But no, I think, like he said, punter is probably the bigger one there. But we'll definitely be keeping an eye on special teams because it is very important and a very much an open battle with both those spots. So that will be big. That being said, we got to hit a timeout. When we come back, we keep on rolling. Going to dive into a little bit of the new NIL updates because that means a great deal, plus some more fall camp talk. Coming up right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Quick timeout. We'll be right back.
Road tripping, business travel, or bringing your car in for repairs.
Oh, what's the other thing I had? I don't know if you guys saw, I guess AJ claims, or I shouldn't say claims, but AJ said on his podcast, he says, I think Nussmeyer's is like number one quarterback in the country. If you haven't seen their podcast yet, AJ, Trent, and Chris, man, it's really good. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. Somebody was talking about this drill. Hold on, let me pull it up. Wait, where did this go? Oh, right here. Talking about playing the run from those mug looks, which is newer in college football. I'm not going to lie. I swear, all these trends that I'm just kind of like, bro, what is this? Ends up becoming a thing. So when we say mug, that means guys are like hovering over the line of scrimmage. But you typically used to just see like backers mugged like that. Third downs was really the majority of the time you would see it, right? Because you're, running pressure, simulators, you're blitzing guys. It's like you're showing in the A gap. That way, the offensive line, they don't know if you're about to shoot that A gap. They don't know if you're running some type of dogs, but they don't know what's going to happen. Some guys pop, right? Just messes with the offensive line. But we're seeing a lot more people get to these mug looks from like first and second down. And it's really interesting. Now, Kane Womack is known to do what it's like they mug their wolf. They'll have their wolf like mugged in, or not even just always mugged, but sometimes like a yard or two off the ball. And it's actually becoming more popular. But at first, it was so foreign to me. I did not understand it. But now, a lot of people are doing it, man. So I think people saw that clip, and I think a lot of people were noticing that. A lot of people are starting to work those mug looks. We do. Oh, that's what I forgot to mention, guys. We got the I think Tank Jones is about to commit. Yeah, it's a good podcast. I was out there with Chris Stewart yesterday. I was talking to him about it. I told him that's great. Really good stuff. Wait, Chase, so you said you have it up. So you could where are you streaming it from? That way I can put it on the stream. Does Pat McAfee go live on YouTube or no? Is it only on TV? I mean, I could log into Hulu real quick. I feel like he's on YouTube, right? Or no? It's live.
My day, staying humble and just keeping my head grinding and stuff like that. And I've just been thankful for it.
Okay, well, it is our honor to be a part of this. We have your final three that has been basically all over the internet. Ohio State is not a part of the final three. We're live in a parking lot right now in Ohio. Tank had to say that. Alabama, Oregon, Texas A&M. Obviously, he has scholarship offers from everybody, including West Virginia, which don't love this, Tank. But nonetheless, Tank Jones, will you please let the world know where you will be continuing your football career?
Well, first off, I'd like to thank the Lord. Without him, none of this would be happening. And I would like to thank my family, all the sacrifices they've made, the long nights, standing up, long flights, all that. And I like to thank the community also, and my coaches and the school, just the dedication they showed to me and the love they shown back to me. I've just been very grateful for it. And for the next 3 to 4 years, I'll be continuing my academic and athletic career at
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Are we contemplating right now?
the University of Oregon.
Okay. Go, Ducks! Go, Ducks! Hey, 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 hey. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to Oregon. I know your school there is in the state of Alabama. How hard of a decision was it to go to Oregon, and why did you end up choosing Coach Dan Lanning and the Oregon Ducks?
Might not just the relationships I have with them, just the way I know they can develop me, the history of Coach Lanning and Coach Luke Boy, like the edges they can coach, and I just know they can get me to the next level.
All right, well, congratulations to you, your family, your entire school there. Thank you for letting us be a part of this. And Skr Dogs! Skr Dogs! Hey, congratulations, man. Hopefully someday you're here. From us and all of you, congrats. Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Tank Jones. I thought doing that at the Hall of Fame could be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Completely forgot about Ohio State.
Yeah, sure.
And then we didn't know exactly where he was going to go. We had 3 different graphics for committing to or whatever. The fact he's going to Oregon is obviously a great thing for these people here, because Ohio State, Oregon about to become a great rivalry for years and years. Oregon's far, but it is beautiful.
Yep.
Beautiful campus, beautiful views, and obviously with Uncle Phil,
the facility,
the amount of money that they're pouring into ball and sports as a whole. They already have a nice facility. They're building a new facility. Just because we need a newer facility, even though they have one of the newest facilities in the country. It's like Oregon's going to be a player, just like Ohio State's always going to be a player. Just like Texas is always going to be a player. Just like Penn State is always going to be a player. And just like Michigan is always going to be
they got a quarterback.
A player. They got a quarterback who's young and very good from all reports. But him going to Oregon, what does this mean to you? What do you think this is saying to Alabama, right? Because he's in Alabama.
Yeah, huge.
And they were one of his final 3. And what do you think this means for Oregon as a whole going forward?
I mean, I'm sure Bama fans are pretty pissed off right now. A long way, but, Dan Lanning, he's building a great program out there. But I just love these kids making these commitments on the show. And the odds that we're playing now, we've had, 5 or 6 of these guys now, 4 or 5 stars. We're playing some good odds. We may not be doing this anymore, but they may definitely be in this hall, at least 1 or 2 of them. But I love getting on here with their family, all the people that made those sacrifices, saying for the next 3 to 4 years, committing to where they're going to. That was awesome.
What was the percentage that we heard about 5 stars?
So, I heard this on a show the other day. It used to be 60% of 5 stars got drafted in the NFL or made it in the NFL in some way. Over the last few years, it has jumped up to 65%. So I don't know if the rankings are getting better or whatever, or if more NFL teams are just taking more chances on talent. But about 65% of these 5 stars are now going to the NFL.
Tank Jones, great nickname, Con man.
Fantastic.
6'3", 260. He's on the internet at 6'3", 245. FaceTime with him this morning. I'm like, 6'3", 245? Geez, what a monster. And he's like, nah, actually, I'm like 260 right now. Because remember, these guys are all still growing.
That's the thing. Like, I get that. And I don't know how it was when you guys were growing up. Like, is this how it was for everybody? Because The Atkins kid we talked to, he's massive. There's a few other players that the tackle. That guy was 6'7", 350, and he's in high school. Like I don't, when I played, which was kind of recently, I don't remember it being like that. Like Clowney, for instance, he was the one guy. Derrick Henry, the one guy. But now it feels like there's 25 of them on every 100 list. It's absurd.
AJ, Ohio high school football.
Oh yeah.
So I guess I could let that play, but there you go, guys. I know that's probably not what you wanted to hear, but Anthony Tank Jones, in fact, ends up committing to the Oregon Ducks. And I'll say this, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of had a feeling it was kind of trending that direction. Look, I'll be honest with you. You kind of go back to seeing the news about the whole NIL thing being the way it is. I'll just say this without getting into too much details. I do know Oregon's offer for him definitely pretty significant, right? Especially in comparison to the other choices. It is what it is. And I know a lot of people are probably gonna be frustrated about that because he's a great talent. I mean, you look at him, just like Pat mentioned, he's pushing like 260. I know a lot of people look at him and they see outside linebacker type deal, edge guy, but I mean, there's a chance he's really going to grow into true 5 technique. Look, Bandit definitely. I mean, Wolf, he probably is easily going to outgrow that. But definitely kind of taking on that role would have been like a Bandit, probably LT Overton, right? Kind of that vibe. But that being said, man, don't be frustrated at the guys, man, at these kids. I mean, imagine yourself in a situation if you were 17 years old, and you've got people offering you probably, 7 figures to go attend a university. You know what I mean? It's tough. It's tough. And I'll say this. I know it's probably tough knowing that, Oregon's the whole other side of the map. And I know that probably, weighed on him and he probably wanted to stay home and played Alabama. But I'm just telling you guys, man, teams like Oregon and the deals that they're offering these guys, man, I mean, it's almost kind of like it's almost too good to be true. And best believe they also are probably going to find ways to take care of his family, make sure they're good in terms of being able to at least come out there, if not be out there a lot. You're starting to see that more and more. A lot of these top guys, I mean, they're even bringing their families with them. So it is what it is. It's kind of where we're at right now. I mean, kind of like Morgan just said in the chat. He said, I'm just mad that someone can purchase a team. Unfortunately, when you do stuff like they just did and basically permit these collectives to go back to paying these players, at least with limitations, I mean, that's what you trend towards. I don't know. We'll have to read more into it because I don't understand why you would, after you just made some progress, lean into the revenue sharing. Like the whole point, guys, the revenue sharing was supposed to serve as a salary cap. Like, let's recap real quick. Revenue sharing was serving as like a salary cap where teams could, designate up to $20.5 million for their athletic programs, all their student athletes. That virtually was a salary cap. Some schools would, dedicate more of that budget towards football and other things, depending on the factors, but still, that at least served as some type of cap. And it was going to gradually grow, just like everything else, right, over the next, years or so. And then the whole thing with NIL is you also know that the NCAA just got sued about, prohibiting people like myself from being able to capitalize on our own name, image, and likeness, right? Now, I'm not even talking about revenue sharing. I'm even just saying, name, image, and likeness. So they can't necessarily just say guys can't get anything or, they can't take that away because that's not fair. But they said, oh, we'll have the clearinghouse who's supposed to, work on these deals. And if it's over $600, it has to go for review. All the same crap that I have been preaching, saying that's what they should have been doing, right? Just like any other thing that's federally regulated, right? Whether it's taxes or right, like everything's always subject to review and there's rules. That's why I didn't understand. Why do we act like with college football or college athletics, like that's just so hard to do? That part I don't understand. They can find out rules and regulations for environmental factors. They can figure it out for taxes. They can figure it out for medical, details, stuff like that. But when it comes to college athletics, it's like they act like they can't figure that out. That part, I don't understand. That being said, I thought that at least worked because it prohibited these collectives from just paying. So like Phil Knight, like, yeah, if they wanted to pay him a big chunk out of their $20.5 million revenue sharing budget, cool. But Phil Knight couldn't say, hey, we want to sign him to a Nike contract worth however much. Because before we had that, technically Phil Knight, he could just say, hey, I want to sign you to a Nike deal worth whatever amount he thought he wanted to do or felt he needed to do. With the new updates, you couldn't do that. But now with them rolling some of that back, that's kind of leaning back into that stuff. So, that's part of it. But I'll just say this. I do know dude had a very significant offer from Oregon. Like very. And I'm just going to call a spade a spade. I mean, we weren't offering what, Oregon would have been offering. But you got to look at it like this. I mean, it really depends on what you value, man. I mean, look, do you want to play for the home team? Do you want to come here, play for a place with all the history that we have, all the resources that we have, and be the next guy, from Alabama to come and play for the University of Alabama, with knowing how much that means? Or would you rather, be paid a little bit more handsomely? Not saying, again, I want to be clear. I mean, we're competitive in that space, but teams like Oregon and stuff, it's just a fact. I'm not oversharing. I'm just being honest. Like, you already know those types of programs, Texas, Oregon, Ohio State's, they're willing to go that extra mile. Just from what I know, I mean, I just know that we definitely try to keep a little bit more, I want to call it like integrity, because it is what it is. But you get what I'm saying, guys. Like, we're just not going to sit there and try to play that outbidding game, right? We never have here at Alabama. But anyway, that being said, some guys would prefer to just do that, and that's totally their choice, man. Like I said, it's hard to turn something like that down. But congrats to him. I mean, I hope he has a great career. Obviously, I don't. if we're playing Oregon, I hope he doesn't, have a good game that game. But rooting for the guy. I think he's a great player. I think he's got a lot of potential, and congrats on his decision. But we got to hit a timeout. We come back. We keep on rolling. Hate to throw that news on you guys. I wish we could have had better recruiter news. But hey, we got to be appreciative, right? We've got how many other 5-stars we've gotten over the last few weeks, and we still got a number of ways to go. You never know. I mean, technically, you got till December, Chase. I mean, could he have a change of heart? Could he say, man, Oregon's a little bit further than I thought, man. Those are some long flights for my folks to get, here and back to come see me, this and that. Who knows? But for right now, he's an Oregon Duck. Anthony Tank Jones it is. Quick timeout. Come back, keep on rolling right here on the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230. WTBC. Dang, guys. Were y'all expecting him to do that, or were y'all thinking it was going to be Alabama? What'd y'all think? Remember, a commit's not a lock. True. Yeah, I mean, look, you never know. I mean, he could have a change of heart. Again, I'm not going to sit there and act like I talked to him personally. So I do know. I mean, it definitely was probably a tough spot. You know what I mean? Like, being from Mobile, being an Alabama guy. I mean, look, guys want to play here. But again, when you've got, one school offering something crazy, right? I'm just telling you, just knowing how we operate, we don't get into the whole bidding, the bidding wars that are just lucrative and outrageous. We don't really do that, man. And if anything, I think that goes to show you guys, the guys that we do have, like those top ranked guys, don't get me wrong, I mean, they definitely are, we're competitive, but I'm gonna be honest with you, we have a number of guys, not even just like incoming guys, we have a lot of guys even on our team. The fact that they didn't leave, I'm telling you, says so much. I don't think you guys understand how much that really means. Like, it's one thing just to be like, oh, we didn't lose anybody to the portal, but it's another if you guys really knew what some of these other schools were paying and what our guys could have made if they had left. That's really why it meant so much that we retained everybody, like straight up, because these other schools, man, they're dropping bags. And obviously it kind of got a little fuzzy with the new rules where they couldn't really do it in the same fashion. But you people on here acting like Oregon does not put players in league stop with. I'm not gonna lie to you, Kitty. I was kind of thinking that too. I mean, a place like Oregon, Mike, if I'm being honest with you, I wouldn't say like a place like Oregon is like him giving up an opportunity. Like, Yeah, we know Alabama in our track record here, right? I mean, it's better than anyone's in terms of NFL production. In terms of putting guys in the league, in terms of guys having those types of careers, but there's no denying. I mean, Oregon, Ohio State, Texas. I mean, these other schools. I mean, they've got plenty of resources, and they're going to be on big stages too. I mean, I wouldn't make it personally. I wouldn't look at
Report
it as
fraud at labor.
him going to Oregon is going to hinder his chance of making it to the NFL. I mean, Oregon's actually, matter of fact, the last couple of years, they've had a lot of good players and a lot of draft picks as well. You think we're just as good without them? I mean, look, we're going to be fine regardless. I mean, we get a number of players. The only reason I would say, I mean, it's a hit is because
teamwork.
Like me and my dad have talked about. I mean, players up front, I just feel like we hadn't had as many dominant guys up front recently
for an evaluation.
And I feel like, again, I know stars and stuff don't really matter, but players like that, a little bit high caliber guy, you watch their tape, it got a lot of
9-6-1-1,
a lot of upside. I feel like we definitely could really benefit from some more of those high impact guys up front. And welcome back into this Thursday edition of Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. All right, so we just got done listening to the decision, right, of Anthony Tank Jones, courtesy of the Pat McAfee Show. Ends up choosing Oregon. Now, there were some predictions leaning towards Oregon. The rumor, at least, of what I'd heard some folks talking about in terms of what Oregon was offering him. I'm not going to lie to you. It did not shock me that he chose Oregon. And there you have it. But again, look, we got some really good players in this class, a lot of guys I'm excited about. We'll keep on rolling. But again, still want to congratulate these guys. It's a great opportunity for them. Obviously, you wish you can land them all, but you can't. But just like who said, I think Fromm, we got till December, so you never know. There always could be a change of mind or something. That being said, let's go to the phone lines. I think we got Smitty on there. 205-342-9904 is the number. Smitty, welcome in.
What's going on, Christian?
What's up, man? Talk to me.
Man, a couple of things. First, it's like Oregon, right? Can't get mad. Hey, if the kid took the cash, hey, so be it. Hey, many of us would have done the same thing. But the thing is, Oregon has to pay that we're geographically isolated tax also.
100%. Hey, look, I've been to Oregon though. I will say, not the university, but I've been out there. It is nice. Now it's definitely different. A little bit of a shock when you're from like me growing up in South Carolina. A lot of our folks here in Alabama. Oregon's definitely a lot different, man. It's a different world out there, but it's a really nice place. But you're right, that being that far, man, like it's not going to be for everybody. You know what I mean? And they have to, if they're going to keep landing guys from this away, that's a big deal. That's why, if I'm being honest with you, man, like normally those types of deals, they always include some way or another, including, whether that's helping family get out there, helping people relocate. They know what they're doing. I mean, it's no different than when we get guys from California. That's why you see that a lot of families end up this way because they want to, that's a long way to be trying to go and see games, man.
Yeah, because I've been to a game there before. Hey, cool atmosphere. Campus is cool too. But the thing is, people got to understand, Oregon and Ole Miss teams like that actually spent more than Ohio State because Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, they can bid, but they're not going to bid. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so Oregon did outspend Ohio State last year. Ole Miss did. Ole Miss didn't make the playoffs, and Ohio State still smoked Oregon. So what I'm saying is that, and plus, this. If you go to, let's say when you played, you've been in your third or fourth year, and a freshman's getting off who ain't played pretty much sight unseen, getting more money than you have when you've been playing for 3 or 4 years. How do you think that affects the locker room?
Oh man, that causes rifts in the locker room, man.
Yeah,
it does. I mean, I always give the example if I was a fifth-year guy. And look, I'm a very just laid back, modest type of dude. Meaning, like, if I was in this spot, like, I would not be marching up to coach's office demanding more. My parents would not have been reaching out saying, "Oh, Christian needs this. He's a starter now. He's been here. He's like." You wouldn't have to worry about that for me. Unfortunately, that's the reality for a lot of this stuff. But I still, with that being said, if I'm in that room, at outside linebacker room, and we bring in the outside linebacker and he's making damn near 7 figures and he hadn't played a snap, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna feel a type of way. And I think a lot of coaches and people in these buildings, they don't want it to be like that because they know that's not right. They don't want to they don't want to over reward these kids, then have these guys that have been busting their tail for 4 years make literally a tenth of what somebody like that is making. It's not right, and that's why I hate that it's still trending like this. It shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, because Brian Kelly said the same thing last offseason. Because he didn't want to bring in a transfer defensive lineman who was making more than his left tackle, who got drafted, I think it was number 3 overall, to the Patriots. And I understood that because Belichick even said he didn't want to bring an outside guy who made more than Tom Brady. And so that's a lot of locker room dynamics on that, because there's a lot of players who would say, hey, you paying this guy more than me. You need to run me my paper too. I'm out of here. Because you still, no matter what these schools pay you, it's still a 1-year deal on both sides.
Yeah, sure.
But one thing I want to touch on, though, because I know people talk about Alabama this year, they keep talking about Ryan Grubb, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's kind of unfair to Ryan Grubb to make him the magic elixir. That's just it's gonna turn, like he's the guy that's gonna turn water into wine, because correct me if I'm wrong, that's Kalen DeBoer's offense, and I think because he has a totally different team than last year, different quarterback, offensive line, a little more experience, different, better, more mature receiver core, and I just think that people might want to just chill on that, if you get what I'm saying. And the one thing I'll ask you is also, people talk about the running game. Maybe the coaches know more than we do, because Milroe was our best running back last year. Because he seemed like he was the one guy that could make somebody miss. He could turn 3 yards into 6. And sometimes with a running back, you may be able to have to turn 3 yards into 6 because a man may be free. Can you make a miss? You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I didn't see that from Jam last year. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one.
Well, I feel like I did. I feel like I saw enough from Jam to really be on. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I remember last season when everybody was talking about Justice Haynes. I kept saying, because going into the year, this time last year, everybody kept raving about Justice Haynes. And look, I get it. I mean, he's got a lot of upside, a lot of potential. And they saw the glimpses from him, the year prior. But I kept saying, I'm like, y'all are just sleeping on Jam Miller. I'm like, from what I saw from Jam Miller the year prior, I'm like, I'm excited about Jam. I think he offers a lot to his game. He can catch a ball out of the backfield. He's got physical aspects. I feel like he can make guys miss. And I was expecting some good stuff from him. And I think that's why you saw him really step up and be that guy. But in terms of last season, and I always urge people to understand this. I see people say, oh, Jalen Miller always kept the football in, those zone read plays. And I'm like, you realize half the time they were quarterback design runs, meaning they weren't really he's just faking the action, but it's designed for him to keep the ball. And 2, his job is to read it. You read the end. And he was, sure, did he probably have a couple bad reads, maybe every now and then, but he was doing what he was supposed to, right? But what I was getting at is, the reason he ran the ball so much is not because he just wanted to run the ball. It's because the quarterbacks were calling his number to run the ball, because they felt him running the football was probably one of the best options that they had. If you go back and look, some of those, read sweep Q power plays that we ran, right, with him, hitting the edge in the red zone. I mean, how many times did he score off those plays? You know what I mean? Like, that was a very effective play for them. So of course they're going to call it. That being said, we still had good running backs. I just felt that Jalen was probably one of the best options in terms of the ground game. That being said, they don't have Jalen anymore. So I do expect these running backs to get many more opportunities, and they'll step up. But I think Jam is your number one guy. I think Richard Young, he's impressive. I think he's going to be a great partner in crime alongside Jam. But then Daniel Hill, I really do feel like can step up and be a little bit different, because he's just so physically imposing. I mean, he's a big guy, but moves really well. So I think they got a good group, man. I think it's kind of like strength by numbers. I wouldn't say the room looks like elite necessarily. Looking at them right now, I think they could definitely prove to be a lot better than they look like right now. But I think it's kind of a strength in numbers type of deal. And I think they'll prove that with all the extra opportunities that they'll have added this season. And then what you said about Grubb, yeah, I mean, look, I know what you mean. It's kind of unfortunate that he's got a lot of pressure on him because everybody's turning the attention to him, like you mentioned, that he's going to be the answer. Hell, I even said I think it's going to be an improvement because of him. But, I mean, that's part of it. And, look, anybody that coaches here at Alabama, that's what you're signing up for. I mean, you literally are signing up for all attention on you at all times and, probably the most extreme expectations. So, I think he's well aware of that. But I think it is fair. You're right. It's Kalen DeBoer's system. But we do know Kalen DeBoer definitely, he likes to delegate. He even said it on our show. He lets his guys do their thing. So if you're the coordinator, he's going to let you be the coordinator. Obviously, he's there to kind of have the final say. But I do just naturally feel better about having Grubb in that spot than Nick Sheridan. And again, I don't think Nick Sheridan was terrible by any means, but I just think it was probably a bigger step than he probably was ready to take. I mean, talking about offensive coordinator at Alabama, I think Grubb is just a little bit better fit for that position.
Yeah, and I said this before I run. Thanks for taking my call. And
yeah, of course.
You got to also remember, Richard Young was hurt most of last year.
Yeah,
he
was banged up.
And we saw some of the games he got in that he had that explosion. So, but even with Sheridan, right, he kind of got dealt a bad hand as well because of all those losses on the roster and everything with that transition. I'm not saying the guy Steve Sarkisian, get what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that the circumstances are a little bit better this year for Ryan Grubb because you don't have all that transition, everybody's head spinning, where you got guys leaving before you can even find your family a house to stay in. you know? And, so I think this year you're going to have that stability. And look, I always say the thing with Grubb that's the bright side that he did go to the NFL first is that, one, he probably won't get another NFL coordinating gig. In college, it might, you never know, but it might take a little bit. You get what I'm saying? Because the offense wasn't terrible in Seattle. It wasn't.
No.
And Geno got paid again by the Raiders. So I just think that what people got to understand is that he may not jump ship so soon. Because if he was the coordinator last year, he might have gone somewhere else this season, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you may actually be able to keep him around for a little bit. And I think sometimes that bumpy season stuff like that may be a blessing in disguise because you may be able to keep your coaching, because that will hurt Saban at the end. Because not just the coordinator leaving, Christian, the coordinator takes some of the position coaches as well. He got to replace a lot of people.
True.
And I think that stability will help out and everything. But like I said, thanks for taking my call, and you guys keep doing your great work.
Absolutely, brother. Always good to hear from you, man. Great stuff as always. Yeah, man. I mean, you got a lot of points there. But look, I think it's going to be exciting to see. I mean, I think having the whole crew together will give us a true, not even that, like he mentioned also, not having to have like the, year one growing pains either. I think it's just a recipe to get a true idea of what this new staff can do, specifically on the offensive side, right? I'm referring more so to what to expect. Because remember, guys, when we brought in Kalen DeBoer originally, I mean, you're supposed to have Grubb with them. And everybody really was, let's just call a spade a spade. It was the pairing of the two that really had everybody fired up thinking about the opportunities, with the offense moving forward. Obviously, once Grubb ended up taking that job, it's not that people doubted Coach DeBoer. We all knew, like, yeah, it was Coach DeBoer's system. Still is going to be, a great product. But just to be completely honest, I mean, you just knew it'd probably be a little bit different. It'd be like if Coach Saban took a job and then everybody was excited about him bringing Kirby. Kirby dips out, and then he has to promote somebody who hadn't really done something like that. Maybe I don't even know who I'll use as an example, but somebody who hadn't really had that role just yet. Obviously, people will still be excited about Coach Saban and knowing the defense is going to be better. But it's no different than kind of how it was his last year when Coach Steele was there. It just was a little bit different. You're bringing somebody in that wasn't who you probably, like the Kirby or the Pruitt that you would have expected. And obviously, as you can imagine, there might have been a couple little things here and there that came up. So I totally understand it there. All right, we got to hit one last time out. We come back. We'll hear from Jeremy Bernard. Him and Parker Brailsford spoke to the media, but we only have time for one. So we'll listen to Jeremy Bernard, get some updates on him. Day 2. fall camp, as well as that wide receiver room that everybody's excited about. So we'll hear from him and about that when we come back after this quick timeout right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
Go inside the Alabama Crimson Tide with the Gary Harris Show.
Hey, it's Gary Harris. Friday morning at 9 a.m.
What Chase, did they ever update you on our preview thing like that? Let me know if they did, because I'll be honest with you. I hadn't heard anything from anyone. We're supposed to be doing that stuff. What do y'all got going in this chat, man? Jam's always been my guy. Oh, yeah, me too, man. He's a good dude, too. He reminds me kind of how Bray is, man. Just solid, laid back. He's a country boy, too. He went fishing behind my other house. He was trying to find some place to fish. I told him, go behind my house. But no, I like the way he plays, man. He's a good dude. We all talking about Georgia? Where did Georgia come up? Well, at the end of the day, Bama's good. Look, UGA has lost top 2 players in Georgia. Happens. Oh, I mean, nowadays, man, you're not going to be able to land everybody. I mean, that's just not even realistic. It's not realistic, man. Tyrone, what's up, man? Welcome in. Roll Tide, bro. Will Keelan Russell see the field this season? Great question. Man, time will tell. I mean, but I'll stick to what I always have said. Ty's your guy, but I do think if anything, whether it's an injury, something comes up, whatever it might be, I mean, I think if you need to see somebody else in there, I think it's that young man. I mean, don't sleep on Austin Mack. He's good, but it's just I'm just telling you guys, it's Keelan Russell, man. He's got that it factor to him. He just got that it factor to him. And then once he just continues to develop, right? I mean, he's just so young. I mean, he's going to be one of those dudes, man. Any info on Mr. Young's progress? What's up, Mimi? How are you? I'll be honest with you, man. It's so early in camp. I mean, there's not much I can really say that wouldn't be just me just rambling, you know. I mean, he looks great. Like Coach Debor said, I mean, he's probably healthier than ever. So I mean, he looks good going through drills, right? You know, fast, explosive. But until they really kind of get into the swing of it with pads and really going through stuff, it's hard for me to give you like a true assessment of kind of, you know, where he's at. But nonetheless, I mean, I'm excited about him this season. But he looks great so far. Like through 2 days, he looks great. And welcome back into the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Art Sport Experts. All right, we got a few minutes left, so we're going to hear about a few minutes from Jeremy Bernard, kind of updating us post day 2 of fall camp on him, the wide receiver room, offense, all that good stuff. So let's hear from Mr. Jeremy Bernard himself after day 2 of fall camp.
Warm enough for you?
Yeah, very, very warm. It's all good, though. We need it. It's going to be hot in Tallahassee.
So what these first 2 days been like out on the practice field?
Bro, it's been great. You know, we go out there, be out there competing, working on our own stuff on both sides of the ball, just working on executing to the best of our abilities, and then just bringing it all together as a team, working on special team stuff. So, I mean, it's been really good just being able to be back out here and competing and just competing against my brothers.
What feels different about this year compared to last year?
Just the team togetherness that we have. I feel like a lot of people are more bought in, more accountability. People understand what their role is, and they're going to do everything they can to, you know, execute in their role that they have.
Speaking of roles, Coach Grubb was talking about you being more of a leader in that wide receiver room. Just what have you done to maybe step into that?
Just speaking up more, being more vocal. I was a person that would say like to lead by example, but you know, when you're growing into a leader, you have to be more, you know, vocalized, and because you have a lot of experience within the game. So just being more vocalized, letting people know, you know, what I went through with my experience, because I mean, they're gonna go through a lot of things that I went through, so I can help talk them through it. I mean, so that's really the biggest thing, is just being more vocalized.
Isaiah's an older guy, but he's brand new here too. And Coach Grubb just said like he's taking that leadership role too. Like,
Yeah.
how have you seen Isaiah step up in his short time?
Yeah, Isaiah's been a great addition, not just to the receiver room, but to our team. I mean, he was at Miami, and he played with older guys like Xavier Restrepo and Cam Moore, guys that are in the league. So he knows what it takes to get it done at the highest level. So for us to have him and him bring his input, man, it's been a blessing.
Kind of a two-part question. Going up against these defensive backs, how have they helped you guys get ready to challenge them?
I honestly think we have the best defensive back room in the country. So going against the best every single day, you have to find new ways to get open, new schemes. So I mean, it's been great. I mean, we've been competing for 2 years now with some of them, and some of the new additions like Cam and all the other guys. It's been great. You know, just hearing their perspective on things and them asking me questions about different things. So we're just trying to get each other better.
Who's the guy who gives you the biggest challenge?
Damani. I love going against Damani. He's just very handsy, very physical. He's smart. He's a veteran, so he knows what to do. He knows what levers to take away, different things, how I'm lined up. So I really have to think when I go against him.
What have you seen from Jalen Hale as he keeps coming back from his injury?
Hale has been really, really explosive. But I already knew that, man. Like, Hale has always been explosive. And just for him to come back from his injury and still be better than what he was, it's really a blessing. And you can see how God has been working with him.
What kind of offseason has Rico Scott had?
Rico has been great. He ran 23 miles per hour, 23.5. Like that's moving. That guy has put in a lot of work within the weight room, within off the field stuff, and he just continued to improve. He asked a lot of questions. His knowledge of the game has expanded. I'm really excited to see what he's going to step up and do for us.
Take me through what you've seen out of Ty, Austin, and Keelan on this practice.
Yeah, I say each of them, they have been really good. They made a big jump from the spring into now. Our playbook is something that's very diligent. It's not easy to pick up, but those guys put in a lot of time. They're here early. You know, each of them, they have their own way of going about things. And, you know, I'm just very grateful to have a relationship with each and every one of them. And, you know, it's no animosity between them. And, you know, they just continue to work each and every day, and they pat each other on the back, because that's what teammates do.
How quickly, as a receiver, do you want to know who the starting quarterback is?
I say that really doesn't matter to me. It's just the matter of fact of just executing. You know, I feel like when each of the QBs are in, we're able to execute at the level that we need to win. So I mean, that's all that matters. The coaches are going to make that decision when the time is right.
You coached the playbook. How different does it look maybe from this year to last year with a quarterback that's not there to go around?
I feel like, I mean, the scheme is always going to be the same, because that's just has always been Coach Debor's system, Coach Grubb's system. So like everything is kind of the same, but Coach Grubb he was in the league, so he learned a lot of new things, and he's bringing those things in and into the playbook. So I think just learning those new things and giving us the opportunity to, you know, run more NFL plays. I think that's going to give us a great opportunity to show scouts, you know, that we can run NFL routes, make NFL plays. So
Coach Debor made a comment at SC.
All right. I think that's good enough, because we got to get ready to pass things over to Cheetown Sports Daily coming up next. But good to hear from wide receiver Jeremy Bernard. A little bit more to that interview, but we can probably get to the rest of it tomorrow. Parker Brailsford also spoke, so maybe we'll do that early on, knowing that there will be some more media availability post-practice tomorrow, probably from the defensive side of things. So that being said, appreciate everybody hanging out with us today on the stream, live radio, Facebook, all that good stuff, man. Always appreciate you guys. and all y'all's contributions. We will look forward to doing it with you guys again tomorrow, 22 hours from now, breaking down practice number 3 right here, Tide 100.9, 1230. WTBC. This has been the Miller's Edge, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Art Sport Experts. See you guys tomorrow.